What if the opportunity you've been waiting for isn't hiding in some big marketing strategy, but in one tiny experiment? Almost every big change in my business started with something small that I wasn't even sure would work. One of the biggest experiments recently that I've tried was YouTube. If you had asked me a couple weeks ago, I think it was beginning of May, I had a mentor who asked me or said, doing YouTube, have you thought about it? Would you like to do it? And my immediate reaction was, I'm not saying never, but that's not really my strategy in the moment. Fast forward to today, I think this is almost the end of the third full week where I'm publishing videos Monday through Friday. What changed? I realized that talking about my ideas is helping me understand them better. In fact, that's how Growth Lab was born. It's my community where we are learning relationship marketing systems. I have a proven system that I have put in place when I first started my Skool community at the middle of May, just before we hit our 6-week mark. I got to 100 members organically following this system that I am teaching in relationship management. And yeah, I have 100 people. Okay, but even more importantly, we have an 89% participation rate in our group. And that's almost unheard of. But it's because I hit the pavement. I started booking coffee chats. I started talking to people, and I followed every single day. Hold on, show you. I went back to analog. I have a habit tracker. So every single day, what I do is, this has 8 things, but there are 4 actions I take every day to make sure that I am reaching out to people, following up, talking, creating new content so that people can hear about my message, I can practice my message, and they are all actions that I can control. When we post, we don't always have control of, are people going to like it? Are people going to leave a comment? Are they going to see it? It feels like you're shouting into the void. Whereas when we can get back into control of the actions we can take, we can start those conversations. And yes, I still post, but it's very different than how I was posting. So this counts as a post, but also I am doing conversation starting chats. And then I'm following up in the comments, and I often, I'm inbox 0, notification 0. It freaks me out when there's a lot, but I often will spend, and it's not taking me a lot of time, 15 to 30 minutes dedicated of following up and filling the top of the funnel with new replies on other people's posts. I'm doing that. My calendar is filled with coffee chats. I have been introduced to a bunch of speed networking events where, again, filling those coffee chats, and I'm having really good conversations. So to get back to the Growth Lab, I was able to listen to where there were gaps in the market or the need, and I just kept hearing the same questions or the same struggles in the conversations, kind of what I was experiencing myself with the media, and nobody was responding. So I flipped the switch and thought, well, how can I take control of the narrative? I can't control if other people book me or take me up on my offer, but I can control how often I show up, where I show up, the value that I give, and if I want to get calls on my books, I'm going to take other people up on their offers. So realizing that it wasn't just me, it wasn't just the one person I was talking to, it was a collective need. And that this was something that, people were actually asking for. That's when I learned that sometimes it takes a tiny experiment or pushing yourself out of your comfort zone or just switching how you're approaching things that sometimes your next opportunity is hiding inside. And just as I mentioned, I've also seen it happen with my clients who I do content for them in their marketing, their emails, blogs, their websites, even their social media accounts. And they tell me my posts are not getting any engagement. So then we would try one tiny experiment, and instead of only posting, they would do what I'm recommending, start spending time commenting and starting conversations. And suddenly, just like I would wake up, I'd go to bed with no notifications, wake up with many. I think today I have like 90 between DMs and comments, and that's just on one platform. But suddenly their notifications were full as well. Their inbox started filling up, because you need to start that wheel, right? Just like a snowball, you have to start with a couple of flakes, then you get more, you can pack it together, you start the snowball, and then that is that effect. And it's not because the algorithm changed, but because people were looking for someone who's willing to be social and take the first step. And that's when I learned that small changes in your actions can create big changes in your opportunities and also in your mindset. Because isn't it great to go from nobody can hear me to I really love your offer. I love the questions you're bringing. I love the value you're bringing to other communities. Be that person. If I could challenge you to try your own experiment this week, it would be this. Spend 15 minutes in the comments, not just in your community or on your own post, but in other people's posts who are your ideal audience. Don't scroll, don't just hit like. Make sure that you're leaving a thoughtful comment. And even more importantly, this is the clincher that's going to change it all. Ask follow-up questions. And if a conversation starts naturally, invite that person for a virtual or in person, if they're nearby, coffee chat. You don't need a complicated marketing plan to create opportunities. Sometimes you just need to be willing to start one conversation. So I've learned that relationships grow one conversation at a time. If you found this exercise working for your business, hey, I just got a coffee chat booked. I want to do more of this. I want to start this snowball. And I'm going to invite you to the Growth Lab. It is where we have, it's an accountability, container. And we're constantly testing small experiments that lead to big results. So you can join us. I have a link around this video inside the Marketing Momentum Collective. When you're inside, and if you're already a member, there should be a button on the About page. If you're on a desktop, it'll be on the right side panel, or if you're on a phone, it will be at the top, and it'll be a yellow button that says Upgrade. The Growth Lab is the premium offer. It's $39 a month, and we meet every week to, well, we set up your system, and then we're looking at it. What's working? What's not working? What are your goals for the next week? So that the next time you sit at your computer or your iPad or your phone or wherever you're doing business from, you don't have to think, what should I work on today? No, just like me, you don't have to have paper. I have digital versions, but you're going to know these are the 4 actions that I can focus on today to move the needle forward in my business. So I'd love to welcome you inside of Growth Lab. And I want you to remember, content creates visibility, conversations create opportunities, and those relationships are going to create sales, if not directly from that person, as a referral partner, as a speaker. Maybe they do buy your thing, but so many opportunities are going to open up to you to build your business. And the next thing you know, you're going to have to actually block times where I actually have to work. I can't have coffee chats. And that's going to be a nice problem to have, the problem of success. And that's what I wish for you. All right, we will see you in the next one.